So guys, this was our part 1. So where we discussed the basics of developing a rock paper scissor game. And now we will discuss the part 2, in which we will dive deep into some topics like functions. We will cover functions in depth in this part. Okay. So we'll do the same code in a different approach. So I will always recommend you that whenever you are trying to solve any problem, whether related to coding, related to mathematics, related to physics, chemistry, or any problem like which involves numerical, which involves problem solving skills. In that type of problem, always try to approach the problem in the different ways. Okay, so because every problem has some n number of solutions, so each problem can be approached in a different way as well. So there are n number of ways of doing the same problem. So try to find, if you are doing the problem in a simpler way, try to find another way as well. Like how you can approach the same problem in a more complex way by using the more complex approach, more complex functionalities, and more complex features, and further keep it upgrading. So in coding language, we say we have to optimize our code. So to make it more better, more readable, more user friendly, less prone to errors, and more redundant. So we have to basically make our code the best among the others. So that's what our thinking and approach should be. So similarly, what we will do is we will again import the library random. Okay. So now what we will do is here is we will try to create functions rather than using an if else ladder. We will create functions here. Okay. So why we are doing this, let me explain you in a brief, like 1 to 2 minutes. So basically, if else ladder have not a very good time complexity. Now, time complexity is a concept where we calculate that if we run a program, then how much time, maybe it be the compile time or run time, like how much time the program takes to run, to execute. We do not consider the compile time at that point of time. We majorly consider the runtime. Okay. So how much time the program is taking to execute, that is known as the time, that time composition. Okay. So if we see that time complexity of if s ladder is not very considered to be very good, it is considered to be average or maybe worst in some cases. So if we try to use functions, functions are a better and more good way of solving the same problem. Okay. And they increase the readability as well, and they increase the code reusability. You can reuse the same code again if you want to. Let's see how we can do this. So we will use the keyword def, okay, which is a keyword in Python again, and we will create a function get user choice. So if we have to name a function, it can be separated by underscore. It can only use the alphanumeric characters like alphabets and underscore. Okay. So that should be naming convention for a function. Okay. And we will parentheses and then okay. So see, it is again giving me an suggestion, but I will try to write it myself. Now I will use a while statement. Okay. So what I will write is while true. So what here while true means is this loop will run until the condition is true. Okay. This loop will keep running, keep executing till the condition is true. Whenever the condition is false, the code will go outside the loop. It will break the loop. Okay. So we have mainly two kind of loops in Python, for loops and while loops. We do not usually have do while loop in Python. I will explain you the reason for that as well in future. So we have do while loops in C++ and other languages such as Java. But in Python, we majorly have the for loop and while loop. Okay. So both have a bit of different syntax, but majorly for loop we use range function as well, and in while loop we use the condition majorly. Like both has a condition, but in while loop we focus more on the condition, and whenever the condition becomes false in both the loops, the loop breaks and the code goes outside the loop. Okay. So this is how the loop works. So what we will do is we will take, sorry, Just a moment. Yeah. So we will take user input again equal to input. Similarly, like see it is just as it is giving me the options as well. So we can take the user input as enter. Like right now I can accept this line so that we can just understand it in a faster way, so that the video doesn't become so long and it becomes engaging as well. Okay, so we've created a variable user input and we have written a keyword input here, and inside the input we have written what we have to print on the console terminal. Enter rock paper or scissors. Okay, and dot strip lower. Now dot strip lower again is a function. So what it will does is strip dot strip will remove the extra spaces. So suppose, let me give an example. So suppose a user types like he gives like say two space, like I'm putting like lower underscore as a space, you can consider it as a space. Okay, and he types as R capital, O capital, C small, K small. Okay, and similarly he types something like he types R, then he gives space, then he gives space, then he types small o small c, capital C, and capital K. Okay, so it's something he types like that by mistake, not intentionally, but by mistake, it's something types like that. So it will be becomes equal to small ROCK. Why? Because we are using dot strip function, which is removing the extra spaces. This space between R and O will be removed. This double spaces, which is in the starting, will be removed, and all the letters will become in the lower case because again we are using the lower function. Okay, the lower function will make all the letters in the lower case. Okay, so let me write it down here. So strip function removes the extra white spaces. Okay, okay, so we can get the input from the user. Okay, and if user input is in the list, it if what the user has input is among these three options. What is meant by in? If we write any statement like if variable in, and then we put another list tuple or any kind of variable, then first element is checked that that is present in the second list tuple or any other element or not. If it is present, it will return true. If it is not, it will return false. Okay, so what we are doing is we are checking the condition. We are putting the logic here that if user input matches one of the condition, like either it is rock, paper, or scissor, okay, then you will return the user input. Okay, else what you will print, invalid input, please try again. So what this statement will do, what this logic, this whole condition from while till here, what will it will do is it will narrow down our inputs. Okay, so now user can only input either rock, paper, or scissors. Apart from that, if you put any other value, it will give an error. It will raise invalid input. Please track it because this then it will go into the else condition. Let me run it for you and show you example. Suppose I give normally rock here. So just give me a moment. Why it's showing error? The term rock is not real anymore. Oh, just give me a moment. Yeah, let me run it again. Okay, I have not saved it. Let me save the file first so that it runs smoothly. Just give me a moment. Rock, paper, scissors, part 2, desktop, and we go into projects Python. We save it. Let's try to run it again. Enter rock, and it's showing the same error. The term rock is not recognized the name of the command function script for the people. Check the spelling of the name or if the path was included. Verify that the path is correct and try again. Line 1, correct on 1. Yeah. So, uh, sorry for my mistake. Actually, what I was doing was I have created the function but I have not called it. So that is why we could not receive the proper output. So suppose after creating the function, we call it by its name and parenthesis get user choice. So what it will done is it is giving us the input like enter rock paper or scissors. So let's say we enter rock. So it's working fine. Okay. So let's suppose I enter, it's returning me the user input. It's returning rock. Okay. So if I enter something like suppose I write my name only, Aniket. So it's saying invalid input, please try again. So it's narrowing down the inputs. So we can only put either rock, paper, or scissors. Apart from that, if you put any other input, any other number, let me try using a number as well. If I run it, and if I put any number such as 23, so it will again show invalid input, please try again. So input should be in a string format. It should be only rock, paper, or scissors. Okay. Apart from that, any other input would be invalid. So that is the use of this while statement, this loop. Okay. So second function, we will create a second function as well. So define get computer. Again, this is giving me suggestions. Computer choice. Return random dot choice rock paper scissors. Again, random dot choice is the same function which is giving me the random choice between the rock paper or scissors. Okay, pretty simple, like similar to the previous one. Okay, now we will create a logic of winner. So define decide winner. We will give two input parameters here. Okay, user choice and computer choice. Let me write the code myself only so that you understand it better clarity. It will be the same logic like the earlier one logic we applied. If user choice equal to, so this equal to I have not discussed earlier as well, but I believe that you must be knowing that it is like assignment operator. We sorry, it is a comparison operator. We check that if user choice is equal to computer choice, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. If we have a single equal to, it is known as an assignment operator. It assigns the value from right to left. Okay, so that's how it works. So computer choice. What is the error here? Okay, I have okay. Here is error. Okay. If user choice equal to computer choice, we will simply return tag. Okay. elif user equal to rock and computer choice equal to, let's say, let's put it as scissors. Yeah, we can accept this. So tab return user wins, rock crushes scissors. Why it's again showing some error here? Elif user choice equal to. Yeah, I think it's fine here. This red mark is showing some error. Okay, it will be correct, I think. Yeah. What is the problem it's saying? So write the third logic. Elif user, it is giving us suggestion. So we put tab user choice equal to rock, computer choice equal to paper, return computer wins, paper covers rock. Let's do one thing, which will be a better approach. Combine the statements here itself. Yeah, so it is giving us suggestions. Okay. Else computer wins. Okay. So what is the logic here? Basically, we created the function decide winner. We have taken two parameters, or we can say two arguments. there is a difference between parameter and arguments. I will explain you these also in future videos. I can create a detailed video on that as well. So suppose we put two arguments such as user choice and computer choice. Okay. Now, suppose if user choice, you have input some, let's say rock, and computer also randomly have taken rock. So both are equal. It will be compared in the comparison operator. Both becomes equal. It will return tie. Else if, otherwise it will go into the else if block. If user has chosen rock, yani means you have chosen rock and computer have chosen scissors. So means user wins. User have chosen paper, computer have chosen rock, then also you wins. User have chosen scissor and computer have chosen paper, then also you wins. So these are the three cases when the user have the probability to win. So we listed all the three cases in a single statement by combining it with or. Okay. So if I or means if either of one is true, if any of the three statement is true, if either one is true, either two is true, or all the three are true, it will return true. So it will return user wins. Else, if all the statements are false, okay, all the statements are false, then only it will go into the else block and it will return computer wins. So if neither it is a tie, neither the user wins, we left with the third case, which will means computer wins. Okay, so this is our logic in this code. Okay, so now let's display the result. So sorry for this. So now we will create another function, define display result. We will take three arguments as it is suggesting: user choice, computer choice, and we can say result or winner. We can take any. Okay, so we've created another function known as display result, in which we have taken three arguments: user choice, computer choice, and result. Okay, now what we will do is if result equal to tie, print it is a tie, nobody wins. If result equal to user wins, print f string, we use again f string, user wins, variable user choice beats variable computer choice. Okay, so we go to else, print computer wins, computer choice beats user choice. Okay, so this is the logic in the display result. Now we will create one more function for play game. See, it is giving the selection as well. So it is understanding what we are trying to build basically. Okay, so we can create a normal, say, our message like welcome to the game. Okay, then what we'll do is we will assign user choice equal to get user choice, computer choice equal to get computer choice. Then we can print it as well, that what you have chosen with the help of f string. Okay, so finally, when we have done this, what we will do is we will create two more variables. First, we will create a variable known as rounds. So we will check how many rounds we have played, how many rounds the user wants to play, basically. So rounds equal to input. We will ask the user how many rounds do you wish to play. Okay. Correct. There is a one more concept that always the input will take, or we can say it will return us the result in the string format. So we will try to convert typecast into int. Okay. So by that format, we can give it a input in the form of integer. Okay. So we typecast it by putting int inside outside it in a bracket. Okay. Now we will initialize two variables. User score equal to 0 and computer score equal to 0. So why we are doing this? So we are putting their initial value equal to 0, so that in future, whenever suppose user wins, his score increases by 1. We will do that with the help of a counter. Okay, we'll use a counter variable. So if user wins, it will make from 0, it will go to 1, from 1 to 2, and further it will go on increasing. And if computer wins, the score of computer will be increasing. Okay, so first we initialize both values to the 0, so that we can easily add to them. So there is a basic rule: if we have to add something to a variable, we initialize it with 0, and if we multiply further to the variable, we initialize it with 1. Okay, so this is a basic rule in coding. So what we will do now is we will create a for loop for I in range 1 to rounds plus 1. Now why I have put round plus 1? Because always this in the range function, this part is inclusive, means 1 is included in that, but in the rounds plus 1, limit this limit is exclusive. So if we do rounds plus 1, it will go till rounds. Okay, so we always take one additional value, so that we can take our whole range. Okay, this is the basic concept. So let me just date this as well. Yeah. Okay. So now let's understand the logic. So we have created a for loop in which we go from 1 to rounds plus 1. Basically, we go from 1 to rounds. So in user choice variable, we have input the function of get user choice. We have called the function. In computer choice variable, we have called the function get computer choice. Okay. So user choice will be whatever you will input, and computer choice will be a random choice from rock, paper, or scissors. In result variable, we have called the decide winner function, in which we have input computer choice and user choice. Okay. And after that we compare that if whatever the score is, suppose if user have scored 5 points and computer have scored 2 points, so user have scored more points than computer, so obviously user wins the game out of the 7 match seeds. And similarly vice versa, if the computer score more than the user, it will wins, else it is a tie. Again, it is a tiebreaker. Okay. Now if we have created all the functions, now we will write the main part. Define main, and now we will execute the code. While true, until the condition is true, we will play the game. Else play again, and break here and put thanks for playing. Okay. So what it does it, we call the play game function, and in the play again variable, if it is true, we keep playing the game. If it is false, we break the loop and we again input, do you want to play again? And if play again is not equal to yes, if apart from yes, user has input no or any other option, then it will break the loop and it will print thanks for playing and the game will end. So this is our code. And for the sake of doing it, we can also write if name underscore equal to underscore main underscore main. This is the syntax of calling the main function as well in the Python. Now let's run the code. Something the loop we have done an error. Invalid input, please try again is running all the times. So we have written the line. Okay, so I have fixed the error. So the error was in the while loop. While it was true, it was running this line multiple times. Print invalid input, please try again. So what I done was I corrected the loop and I just created the indentation in the loop. Okay, and I created the indentation here as well in the function such as display result and play game, and the function is running quite well. The whole code is running quite well. Let me show you. If I run the code, it is asking me enter rock, paper, or scissors. Suppose I enter rock, so it is saying welcome to rock, paper, scissors. So first time you can enter any of the input and it will say you welcome to the game of rock, paper, and scissors. Then again you can enter rock, paper, or scissors. You can enter anything rock. Then the actual game start. It says you choose rock and the computer choose scissors. Then it asks you how many rounds do you wish to play. So suppose you wish to play 2 rounds. Enter rock, paper, scissors. Now the game actually starts. So you wish, suppose you choose rock game. So user wins because rock beats paper. Computer chooses paper randomly and you choose rocks. Again, as you have chosen 2 times, you will choose again second time. First time you have chosen rock, second time you can choose scissors. It's a tie because the computer have also chosen the scissors and you have also chosen the scissors. Okay. Do you want to play again? Let's suppose we choose yes. And suppose we choose a random input such as Aniket. It will say invalid input, please try again. Okay. So this is how the program works. And this is the complete logic of the program. So, okay. So to update the score here, we need to write down the following lines. So just let me tab here the following animation. Okay. If result equal to user wins, user score we have to update by +1. Else if result equal to computer wins, we have to update the computer score by +1. Okay. User score and computer score are the variable which will keep the track of the score of user and computer. Right. And user wins and computer wins are already defined as the thing. If result is equal to user wins, then user score will be updated by 1, and the result is equal to computer wins, then the computer score will be updated by 1. Here we have returned user wins. If these conditions are met, here we have defined computer wins. If none of this is tie, none of the condition of this is met, then we have defined computer wins. Okay, so this is the conditions. And if user score is greater than the computer score, then user wins the game with this score points. If computer score is greater than the user score, computer wins the game with this points, else it is a tie. So this is the final logic, right? So let me give you a quick recap again for the complete code. First, we have imported the random library, which will help us to randomly generate our choices. Then we have created a function which is a get user choice, in which we will create a while loop which will be a true for until when we will have a user input equal to input. We will take input from the user from rock, paper, or scissors, and we will use a strip function which will remove the white spaces, blank spaces from the input. We will use the lower function which will help to make it lowercase, all letters as lowercase. Suppose we have entered any letter as an uppercase letter, such as capital R, capital O, capital C, capital K, or any letter as capital, or other letters as lowercase. So it will make all the letters as the lowercase letters. If any of the above letter is the uppercase letter, all the letters will be made as the lowercase letters. That is the use of a lowercase function. Then if the user input is fine in the list of rock, paper, or scissor, it is the user input will be returned, else it will be an invalid input. So this is the use case of the get user choice function. Okay, so this is our get. Then we will call the get user choice function. So we will get our value, which is given by the user, input by the user. Then we have created the function get computer choice, so which will be returned by the function random.choice from a list of rock, paper, scissors. In a tuple, we have a list of rock, paper, scissors from a random dot choice function, which will randomly choose any of the rock, paper, or scissors each time. So suppose it is a very random thing. Suppose one time it choose rock, another time it choose paper, another time scissor, another time again paper, another time again scissor, again rock. So it is very random, quite random. Then is a function defined decide winner, in which we have taken two parameters, or you can say arguments, which are user choice and computer choice. If user choice equal to computer choice, if these both are equal, assignment of comparison operator. If these two are equal, in that scenario, you can return die. Else if there are these three conditions, if user choice is rock, computer choice is scissors, or these three conditions which you can see on the screen, if these three conditions are there, then our user wins. Otherwise, if neither there is a tie nor the user wins, then automatically computer wins. Okay. Then there's a function known as display result, which completely shows our result to the output screen. If result is a tie, it will print it is a tie. So we can just do one more thing here. We can use f string here as well, f string, and we can print here uh, both. Let me make it capital letters. Both choose user choice. It is a tie. Nobody wins. Okay. And else if result equal to user wins, then user wins, user choice beats computer choice, print f computer wins, computer choice beats user choice. Then we have a function defined play game. Welcome to the rock paper scissors game. User choice equal to get user choice, computer choice equal to get computer choice. We have user choice, computer choice. We print that you choose this, computer choose this. We have the number of rounds, that how many rounds do we wish to play. Initially, we initialize the score of the user and computer to 0. Now we initialize a for loop from 1 to rounds plus 1. This is usually done because every time the range is from this part is exclusive, this part is inclusive. So we take rounds plus 1 so that we can go from 1 to rounds. Then user choice equal to get user choice, computer choice equal to get computer choice. Result is equal to decide winner from computer choice and user choice. We call the function display result, we call the function again here. Again, if now we make the if else ladder again here. If result equal to user means we update the score of user by 1. Else if it equal to computer means we update the score by plus 1, as I was explaining you before, sometime before, that user wins and computer wins are defined here. User wins and computer wins, right? And user score greater than computer score greater than user score, and else it's a tie. And then we have a main function, while if it is true, we call the play game function. Play again, input do you want to play again. If play again equal to yes, not equal to yes, then you can break and you can exit the loop. Print thanks for playing, and this is the general statement. If name equal to main, then we call the main function. So this is the whole code, and I will attach the whole code as well in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video, and do like the video, comment in the comment box, and subscribe the channel, and keep enjoying the video, and stay tuned for the next upcoming videos. Thank you so much, and hope you guys like the videos. Thank you.